All right. So last time on Dungeons and Dragons: Grave of Man, the party finds itself in the house of a former druid from the Reclaimers, and Dress was able to acquire another book and find some other interesting tidbits of information. However, going between building and after building, we find that there really isn't much, but more gold, odd trinkets here and there, and we failed completely to get into one building. So then we found this one, which had an ogre and some goblins in it, and these ones were not as amicable as the previous ogre, Gruck. So after some combat and an awkward conversation with Skitter about precisely what he sees at belt level, we are able to go down into some basement where there's just a cheese wafting a wondrous odor, acquired from the udder of a fire-breathing cow. And after a lively conversation about fire-breathing cows and how precisely they emit fire, we find a staircase that leads down into what we believe to be the slums. However, the slums are completely underwater, and being a Triton, Alarin, myself, is capable of breathing in the depths. So I go down on my own, striking out from the group, in the hopes of perhaps making contact with Vivi, only to find that the lights that we had seen before are in fact magical lanterns that she has placed to help the undead keep their sanity. After almost deceiving and having a nice conversation with an undead baker, he's off to find Vivi for me, and I await her counsel.
Okay, and for people wondering, where are Skitter, Drez, and Greg during this entire process? They're off on their own part of the adventure. If you remember from the last episode, they had that big green and leafy monstrosity lurking outside. So they'll be dealing with that separately, but for now... So you've been waiting for a little while, and you're kind of wondering if you should, get back to Drez and Greg, but just as you're about to, kind of head back, the baker comes back to you, and he's like, oh shoot, what was his voice? Was it just kind of like...
It was just sort of the
okay,
whispery kind of voice.
Vivi said she would love to meet you. This way, please. And he kind of, just immediately goes.
Oh, okay then. Lead the way.
Seems like his patience didn't survive the undeading. Okay, so I've already got your character set up. Players, boop. Can you see? It's in the top left.
The top left. Okay, I'll have to scroll up there, and I see some kind of antechamber with a chest and some boxes. And can I have closer? I'll have a closer look at that Vivi.
I'm gonna scale.
I've been anticipating.
I'm gonna
her
scale
arrival.
her up. So you are brought here. I'm gonna assign ownership if I can.
She has nice hair.
Yeah. Let's see. So you have ownership of your character. She's not this big. Here, I'll move it over to the side so we can kind of see. Technically, she's in the middle of the magic circle, but
yes, I see the magic circle.
But I can't get things off grid, and I didn't draw it right, so whatever. Oops, and I just navigated away from the page. Well, all right. Anyway,
I'm still on the page.
You are.
Okay.
But I'll be there in 10 seconds. So you are brought to a room. There's more to the slums, obviously. You go through several streets and, different passages and stuff like that, before eventually going into, honestly, what looks like a workshop of sorts. It's a fairly big building made out of, brick and wood and stone and stuff, and it looks, honestly, fairly nice.
How's everything faring underwater?
It looks very wet, obviously.
How are these boxes and such no longer floating? Are they waterlogged?
No, so you're not underwater. The moment you enter Vivi's residence, it's kind of like there's this water membrane.
Ooh.
And you're in a dry warehouse, and everything, honestly, nothing looks like it was touched by the water at all in here. Actually, it looks quite nice, and maybe the water didn't even manage to make it past the front door. Anyway, so you are You're brought to this chamber, and the baker, who I don't even know if I gave him a name.
No, he's just the baker.
Yeah, the baker just kind of deposits you, and then he just shuffles off to presumably loiter next to his destroyed bakery some more, waiting for anybody else to come down and visit, I guess. I'm not entirely sure what his plan is, but he doesn't really have much of one. But so you're brought into this room, and there is a... So...
I see she's wearing a mask.
Yeah, so it looks like she's wearing a mask, but it's hard to tell. So the room itself looks like it was probably maybe like a storeroom or a laboratory or whatever, but all of that got moved out of the way. There's like a bunch of clutter not really pictured here in around the boxes and the barrels and whatnot. And they are... It looked like, stuff had once been in this big circular room and had been converted entirely over to the purpose of having this big magic circle. And standing in the center of it, and, there's an arcane hum, so it's probably ongoing, is a very short marionette, actually.
Oh.
It's wooden ball joints and stuff like that, but there are no strings or anything like that, and it is wearing a violet wig.
There ain't no strings on me.
Yep. And... the wig actually looks pretty nice, but it doesn't quite fit the head. But, good attempt. And as you enter the room, it kind of looks up at you slowly, and it's like, "Oh, hello, you must be the fish I was told wanted to see me."
Fish? Actually, I'm a Triton.
I figured. The baker's not exactly the most descriptive of people. He was not near the lanterns when the floods hit, and so he's been a little addled ever since.
I just realized I was about to step into the circle, but then I remained
it's
back.
fine. It's fine. They're inscribed in. You don't have to worry about kicking it up if you want to look around.
Is this what's maintaining the lights outside?
Yes, and everyone's sanity, and a lot of other things that I could get into, but honestly the list would quite possibly take longer than we have.
Well, thank you for taking the time to talk with me. You see, we had heard of you from the Drow up in the warehouse district. They were in fairly dire straits. They were holed up inside a warehouse, and Kenku, by the name of Fleshrender, had... built his own residence in the hopes of finding them and, well, eating them. I suppose it's his great desire to find humanoid species and taste test them.
That sounds pretty disgusting.
Oh, but don't worry. Actually, we sent him catapulting, hopefully not down here to where you guys are precisely, but...
did hear a splash. I will send some of my people to go look for it. Unfortunately, I don't have much control over the slums, as you may well see, and I can't exactly move, and my followers aren't exactly the most autonomous.
And
if it's not immediately obvious.
They were the former inhabitants of this place?
Yes. So during the fall, I realized just what was going to happen, and not having enough time or strength to actually stop it, the best I could do was, stop it in my own way. And so instead of letting everyone perish in the floods and the poison and everything else, I decided it would be best to give them at least some form of unlife while they worked on a more permanent solution. Unfortunately, the process was a little bit more taxing, and I had to use my phylactery. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Is it like a reliquary or something? Or it's something that contains a part of your body, right?
Are you saying this to me, or...
I'm saying this to you.
Okay. So for people that don't know, a phylactery is a thing that holds the lich's soul.
Oh.
Yes.
You see, I was imagining like some kind of weird urn with a corpse hand or something.
No, a phylactery is their soul vessel, and if you break it, they die.
Right. I remember that from the last campaign we played.
Yes. And so she had to use her own to power the spell, and that's what's locking her here. I'm not going to voice her. Don't
Okay.
don't expect me to have a voice for it. Anyway, so she's saying that she had to use her own phylactery to kind of keep things going.
And no one really suspected that the Reclaimers would attempt this, especially during this festival, correct? I found some ledgers regarding all of the shipments of poison and everything else that was to occur at this celebration. And the music a little annoying.
I will admit they had actually approached me to have a hand in the process, but I thought it was inhumane. And she kind of laughs, and it sounds more like wood clacking on wood. They had approached me for maybe more of a better delivery system, but I, of course, turned them away because in my old age I've grown fond of the living, and did not want to see this I guess beautiful city. She kind of waves her hand at the window, and you just see like a dead dude just walk by outside, and he's like missing most of his face. It's just like I didn't want to see this city fall under any more hardship than already. So I refused them, and I told them that they were they were insane. And I went to the mages, I went to the nobles, and I went to the clerics of all people, and I told them, and they ignored me. They said, the Reclaimers would do no such thing. They're druids. Druids don't just poison whole populations. And then they sent me back here, telling me not to bother them anymore. I guess we got to see how that worked out for them.
That's so sad that not even one would try to convince the others that this was a possibility.
They've always been that way. Since I first came to Zagnoth, she kind of counts on marionette fingers a long time ago. Very self-absorbed city, but the people were good, just maybe not the leadership.
And where did the druids reside now? Once having completed their dastardly deed, where have they gone to?
I will admit I don't go out much, but it sounded like the poisoning of the city was a means to only part of the end. They seemed like they had more goals than just that. And that's part of why I refused them, because it seemed like they had ulterior motives beyond just killing the city wholesale. They wanted to accomplish something, but of course, they didn't trust me enough to tell me that part.
Well, unfortunately, my friends and I were washed down here, and that's how we came upon this whole debacle. But in a way, I find it a blessing. You see, I find it so saddening that a whole people just washed away.
Well, they're not washed away yet. I've got quite a number of them safely tucked away down here. All dead, but, that doesn't stop the determined. And she laughs again.
Yeah, it is nice that your lights do help them keep their minds and their wits about them.
Actually why I wanted to see you. You see, I am shackled to this circle and I cannot move, and my followers, well, they're simple butchers and bakers and, the homeless, the needy, the poor and the destitute. They're not soldiers or adventurers. But you, on the other hand, you are, well, hale and hearty, obviously, and you also seem to have some amount of martial prowess. And most of all, the waters do not bother you. And that's why I wanted to see you. You see, I need a certain power source in the mines, and unfortunately the small amount of people I sent to go find it have never returned, and I need you to go get it for me, else everyone will just be stuck down here while my powers slowly drain away, and then everything falls apart.
And this power source, what is it precisely?
It's a massive crystal. There's probably plenty of them, really. The city of Zagnoth specializes in them, but All I need is the largest, rawest form crystal you can find, and that should be enough for me to work with.
And where would you go once you have acquired this?
I would. I mean, I'm planning on staying here. She gestures at. I guess it's not pictured here, but there's actually a pile of marionettes just outside of the room. I have spoken with some of my followers, and they agreed to follow me in the path of, I guess, the artificial. And she kind of waves her ball-jointed arms around a little bit and is like, I feel that, leaving them just as rotting corpses would be unfair, so I have begun work on giving them alternate forms. And so not only would the crystal let me, actually regain my mobility, but to actually give back to the populace and, give them autonomous forms once more.
Right, especially because marionettes won't rot away like their current forms do.
She nods. So, trying to remember what she would say here. I'm not used to speaking for other people without a script or anything like that. Anyway, so I see that you have that rod. May I see it, please?
Oh, this thing? Yeah, I got it from a dead wizard a while back. And
yes, I am aware of what they do. They are they're rods of teleportation. You can attune them to various places and things, and with the press of a button, there you are. And that is actually exactly why you are the perfect person for this job. You see, all you have to do is touch the crystal with this, and she's like casting some magic on it. While she's kind of vaguely explaining, all you have to do is touch the crystal with it, and it'll just come right back here. And it's as easy as that. Assuming you can find it, of course.
Oh, you see, I accidentally touched this large door upstairs, and it kept bringing me back there. So if I were to try to attune it, how precisely would I do that? Just with a tap?
You would have to find a place of power first. So presumably, she thinks for a moment, presumably you found something of great magical power, or at least some amount of it, and you managed to blindly attune yourself to that specific location. And so if you can find other places of power, you could, I assume, go back to them. Unfortunately, the Mages Guild didn't exactly hand them out for free, so I never got my hands on one. Though I have my my own means of getting around, but of course, shackled here. But you seem to have come across your own, and it's still active. And she taps the rod on her own hand, actually, and you see a different colored ring kind of go around the black rod.
Oh.
And she's like, there, now you should be able to teleport back to me, of all people, of all places, I guess, and, the crystal, or yourself, if need be, in the future. Though, of course, you'll have to make the return trip yourself. So don't just go pressing that button with reckless abandon, else you find yourself trapped somewhere. With good company, admittedly, but, absent from your companions.
Ah, I see. All right, then. Thank you. I'm not well versed in magic beyond my own school, but is it possible for you to identify another thing in my inventory?
Oh, yes, gladly. I'm a artificer of some, I hate to be immodest, but great renown, and I am well versed in all sorts of magical artifacts and items.
Well, thank you. I've been quite puzzled by one particular item. I start rummaging through the bag, and my hand glances over Damien's lips, and then I realize that that's a very fruitless venture.
As you brush Damien, he's like, hi.
Hi, Damien. And I pull out the magical daggers. They sort of are limitless and return to me. But they never go in the right direction.
Those, Those are actually a fairly familiar item. I've made those. They are called, oh shoot. I had a name for them. Accurate, inaccurate daggers. It was a prank object I gave to a friend of mine, I guess, a dart thrower of some renown, and I said, use these, when he was going into a competition for, target shooting, target throwing, and he hit a bullseye on everyone else's target, but never on his own.
So, does that mean that there is a methodology to getting it to hit where you want it to? You just have to focus on something else?
Well, I will admit I made them by accident. I was trying to do something else. I was trying to have them always be accurate, but turns out they have a bit of a mind of their own. They do not like being tricked, but they have their uses. And they always come back to you. The one target they will not miss.
Okay. But in the meantime, they can do some damage to things I do not intend to.
Yes. If you actually feel like using them in combat.
Okay. Thank you very much for your insight there. I'm glad I was able to consult with a master such as yourself.
Is there anything else you'd like me to take a look at? I see you have quite the bag of trinkets there.
Well, I mean, there's Damien. I decided to pull him out anyway.
Okay. That is the... Well, that's interesting. It's broken. That's the Amulet of Advice. It's supposed to give you good advice, but it seems like it may have... Well, if it had a head, it would have suffered a serious head wound.
Oh no, poor Damien.
It, just keep using it, and maybe it'll recover, or maybe you can find whatever's missing from it at a later date.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that. I was beginning to wonder if there was a screw loose.
Okay. And is that it? Is that all you needed?
I'm trying to think what other items I have aside from
This
the
is why you write it down on your
room.
character.
What?
This is why you write it down on your character sheet.
I have an inventory thing right here because I have the door ring. Da-da-da, 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 the lip amulet, the black rod. Nope. That's pretty much all the magical items that I have.
Well then, let me at least see your rapier. I will not send you off to the mines unassisted.
All right.
Alright, so she takes your rapier, and she pulls a small kind of like watery looking orb and proceeds to kind of scrape it up and down the blade a bunch, and it glows.
Is it like a literal whetstone that's wet?
Sure. But so it kind of glows, and your blade looks kind of wet, and then the orb disappears, and the blade on your rapier kind of turns to water and then just splats on the ground. And she hands the handle back to you, and she's like, looking at your face. She's like, don't worry, just hold it for a moment.
Okay.
So you hold it in your hands, and a blade of water kind of comes shooting out of the hilt and just stays there as though it were a normal rapier blade.
Wow. And what will this do when I attack with it?
I will admit it's incomplete. This is the most I can do with my current set, but if you swing it, not in here, please.
Okay.
You can step on things, but breaking the circle would have catastrophic consequences. But you can either stab like a normal rapier, or if you swing it, it'll act like a whip.
Awesome. This is like internally to myself, but I am visibly kind of giddy.
Okay, and with that, she hands you like a bag with something in it, and then you feel like this kind of tugging feeling, and you are let's see, it's weird. You don't black out, but you kind of black out.
Is it teleporting me somewhere?
Yeah, you're teleported, but you're also in motion. Let me copy haste. You're not entirely sure what's going on, except for you are now here. Except for you can't see anything, so let me reveal
Not
it all
yet.
for you. Okay, can you see that?
I'll have to zoom out. Okay, I see dark. Whoa, it's like mine rails.
Yeah, you are actually in a minecart.
I'm in
You're
a
not
minecart?
sure how you got there, but you're in a minecart and you're moving along at like a decent clip.
Uh-oh, it better not be Cardos.
Do you... Well, okay, since you just say that.
Wait, you mean I jumped back?
No, you just go spilling into the water
Ah!
in the cart.
Ouch.
So you're now in water.
All right, and
In fact, the whole place is flooded. So, like, really you don't fall. The cart falls, you just kind of float there. So you're just kind of suspended in this chamber.
Looks like I forgot to jump. Huh. All right.
Give me a second to
So
reveal, like, a vague amount of the chamber. We'll reveal it as we go along.
I paddle around.
Okay. So you are in a big room. The room is... it's huge. It's effectively the mine. There are piles of busted up stone all over the place. There are mining tools. There are pillars all over the place holding the room open. Okay, I'm just going to reveal that half to you while I reveal the rest.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the polygon reveal tool is not exactly the greatest. Someday maybe I'll import these maps with line of sight,
Okay.
but I'll deal with it later.
I'll paddle my way to the shore.
Well, there's no shore. The whole place is flooded. I would have done like a blue filter on it, but...
Oh, really?
Yeah, everything is underwater.
Okay, well, are these just shallows then?
So the whole place is underwater, and there's like a ceiling above you, maybe like a good 20, 30 feet up. But the pit in the center seems to go down for quite some ways, longer than you can see. And so you're in this big room. Roll a perception check, by the way.
Okay. Perception. That's one thing I made sure to boost. Really? 1 die 20 plus 5 plus 0 equals...
All right.
Okay.
So you don't notice much of anything. You're still in the water, by the way.
Oh, okay.
We'll get to that in a second. I'm just trying to remember if there's anything else. Oh, right. So as you're just kind of paddling in mid-water, you feel kind of like a vibrating in your pocket.
Oh. Oh, right. The bag that she gave me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Can I touch it? Look
Okay,
at
so
it?
it's like a bag that's looped around your waist or in your hand or something, I guess.
Okay.
Okay. So inside the bag are 2 potions, probably healing,
Okay.
actually healing. And a small stone with a leather cord going around it.
Ooh.
And the stone is vibrating slightly.
It's my own magical detection device.
Sure. What do you do with it?
I mean, I can do detect magic on it if you want me to. But otherwise, I can pretty much guess that it's supposed to vibrate more violently when I get closer to the power source.
Okay.
I mean, could I use my Arcana knowledge or anything
sure.
else?
You can use Knowledge Arcana if you want.
Woo!
Okay, it's Ascending Stone.
Ascending stone.
It's used to contact people from afar.
Okay, so not so much detection, but it's a way of communication?
Yes.
So, do I answer it?
Sure.
Hello?
Okay, so you touch the thing and you say hello.
Yep.
And in your ear you can hear Vivi say like, "Oh, I forgot, almost the second most important thing. I'd like you to unflood the mines if possible. There should be a drainage tunnel. It must have gotten blocked up, otherwise, we wouldn't be, up to our necks in muddy water here. So if you can find the flooded tunnel and unblock it somehow, that would be wonderful."
Would it be off the side of this main chamber or further down?
I will admit I've never been in the mine, so I can't help you much there. There may be some miners still trapped inside, but I can't guarantee their survival. I don't think my lanterns reach this far.
Oh, so they may still be very undead, as opposed to...
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I wish I could do more for you. If you need anything, just contact me with the sending stone I have given you. Feel free to keep it, by the way. They're really cheap.
All right. And is there like a corresponding stone that I'd have to use in the future? Or how does this work?
Well, I have my own right here. So they're just linked. If you hold the stone and you think of the other person, and they have their own stone, it will just contact them.
Thank you very much, Vivi. And I will definitely set out to find this stone.
Okay.
Okay. So, and the Clogged Tunnel.
Let me reveal the last section. Okay, so you're swimming around, and
there's
you
just
climb out.
Barrels and
in
boxes.
your distraction, you completely missed that there's this guy.
Whoa!
Am I on the right layer here? Yeah, I am.
I mean, I see what looks to be a shark man.
It's kind of a shark man. He's got a definitively like sharky. He's short like a dwarf and stocky, but he's completely see-through. In fact, you actually had some trouble seeing him at first. If I move him over like a pillar, maybe you can see.
Now I can actually speak Aquan, and aquatic animals can understand me. Is he an aquatic creature?
Yes. So you recognize him as a lesser type of water elemental called a water thrall. They're dumb as bricks, and they're generally not very nice.
Aww. Okay. But Aquan, I can speak with
Yeah, you can
water
speak
elementals.
with it.
I will attempt to speak with it.
Okay. So it's looking at you, kind of nonplussed. Like it wasn't exactly expecting a fish woman to come popping out of the water.
Sorry. Okay. Hail, great water elemental.
Blah, 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 blah.
I've sent here to aid the people above, and am searching for a crystal of great size and great magical power.
Roll another perception check, by the way, now that you're looking at the thing.
Okay. I will roll a perception. There's perception.
Okay, you can actually see bits of crystal floating around in its kind of like watery form. It's kind of weird because like it's a water elemental in water. I don't know. It's like a different texture of water.
Oh, so the crystal or crystals must have granted life to these elementals, huh? Do you have a mother or a father crystal or elemental that bears a larger version of the shards that lie within your form?
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah.
Okay, you have convinced it. It looks at you and it's like, blah, 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 blah. And it kind of like swims away.
Oh, okay.
It's not even really swimming. It's actually just kind of slow walking through the water.
Well, then lead the way, my viscous friend. Or it's not quite viscous. It's not really slimy. It'd just be more liquid.
Okay, so as you go, you see a couple more. So there's kind of a procession of these guys. And they are going to and from this chamber here. I'm going to just drag the both of you, presuming you follow it. So it brings you to this doorway, and it kind of points a appendage. It doesn't really have fingers. It kind of looks like an elongated shark fin, and it kind of like splats on the door a bunch, and it's like blah 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 blah. Blah.
I thank you, Elemental, for your aid. So this is the chamber where your elder lies?
Blah 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 blah.
All right. May I enter?
Blah 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 blah.
Okay.
And it like goes back to its business, already losing interest, and they just keep going.
Okay.
And
I knock on the door. Go through the door.
Okay, so are you knocking or are you?
I will actually enter the door. It led me here.
So it's really uncomfortable because you kind of walk into one of the things.
Whoa!
And you kind of like, it has resistance and it kind of doesn't, and it like you kind of separate out from it. It looks at you and it's like blah 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 blah, and then it leaves.
Oh, pardon me. Oh,
Okay.
All right. And there's just another door at the end of this hall?
Yep. There's like mining tools and equipment and stuff. It looks like this might be the primary mine shaft.
Okay. Well, I will look inside.
Okay. So you kind of crack the door open?
Sure.
Okay. I should stop leading you. Try and be descriptive when you're talking about what you're doing exactly.
Oh, okay,
so I know what you're doing. Because
yeah,
you say look inside, and I'm like...
I gingerly open the door. I don't want to run into another elemental
because
like
I'm going to
I had
start
last
taking you
time.
pretty literally if you don't give me specifics, just so we can...
Okay.
Because I don't want to, lead actions from you.
Oh, I understand.
Because that would make it too easy. Anyway, so you open the door, and almost immediately you were hit by a wave of, like, silt and dirt and bits of rock and crystal and so on and so forth.
Yuck.
And almost immediately you also hear something fairly loud.
Oh, man.
And it sounds like something kind of churning against all the rock and crystal, and it's a giant tentacle. It's a giant kind of hot pink red tentacle, and what it's doing is it's like kind of threshing through the rock and the debris and the stone walls and kind of sweeping it all back and forth. And as you watch, like, waves of crystal come kind of swooshing your way. And I guess I actually haven't put any of these guys in the room, but there's a couple of water thralls just kind of hanging out in the periphery and more or less just catching the stuff.
Okay,
with their bodies.
I will ring Vivi.
Okay.
Vivi?
Yes?
Sorry to have called you so soon, but it's fortunate that I also speak Aquan, but there are a number of water elementals down here, and they seem to be powered by small shards of crystal themselves.
That's concerning. Go on.
And I was able to convince one to lead me to vaguely what I was trying to describe as, like, their elder or mother or father, whoever it was that was creating these crystals for them, so that in the hopes that I could find the crystal, a larger crystal. However, I've come across a chamber, probably one of the larger shafts, and there's this large red tentacle that's it's shifting debris about, including the small crystals, and the elementals are gathering them to use for themselves, perhaps. Maybe even so that they can create more of themselves.
That's not good.
Would you know, perhaps, what manner of creature this large Leviathan is?
Honestly, you would probably know better.
Oh, right. I mean, I am a Triton after all. Do I have to go back with, like, insight or history or...
Probably history?
Okay, let me try to plumb the corners of my mind.
Nope, you don't recognize it.
Perhaps I should have listened to my mother and father more about their old war stories. Sheesh. Don't recognize this thing.
Okay, well, that's unfortunate, but if they're taking the crystals, do you know what they're doing with them?
I mean, a number of the elementals have numerous shards inside them. It may even be what's keeping them corporeal. But they do seem to be sort of harvesting them and taking them elsewhere, so perhaps I should follow them.
That would probably be a good idea, yeah. Tell me as soon as you know what they're doing. Because elementals in the mines, that doesn't sound good.
All right. I'll ring you as soon as I can. All right. So I decided to...
Okay, so they're I'm not animating them because that'd be a pain in the butt, but effectively they're just moving between the two doors back and forth in kind of like a loop. And
yeah, I figured I wasn't going to approach a Leviathan.
The one thing you do notice is the ones heading back towards the tentacle have no crystals in them.
Oh, so they're depositing them. All of them. Can I cast invisibility on myself?
Sure.
Okay, I will cast invisibility, which will leave me invisible for up to an hour. And so long as I don't cast a spell or make any attacks, I don't lose it.
Okay. Well, they don't even notice you disappear. They are that stupid.
But the first one noticed me.
Well, it noticed you.
Okay.
Ish.
Well, just in case. I mean, I don't know what other manner of creatures lie in here. I mean, who knows what they're giving the crystals to? Now, is there anything in these barrels?
Oh, these, the little circles are actually,
Pillars
poles
or something?
and pillars, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I will follow them. Is it down at this door?
Yeah. Yeah, you see them going to and from the door.
All right. Well, I will wait for there to be a gap before I decide to make my entrance.
Okay, so...
Actually, maybe I'll follow one in.
So you follow one in? Okay, roll a, I don't know, dexterity check to avoid the door, because...
Oh, dexterity?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, yeah, that's good enough. So you make it into the small little room, and there is a table with some chairs that look unused, a shelf that has like logs and books and some other kind of things on it. Looks like mostly work orders, ledgers, and timetables, probably for the miners.
Oh, more ledgers, but they've yielded useful information in the past, so I might as well sift through them.
Okay. So you're just going to pull up a chair and start reading books?
Just ones that might pertain to the last days.
Okay. So you do find... I mean, mostly it's timetables and, like, you know, who is owed what, and one book seems to be people's gambling debts. But you do find a book that doesn't have as many entries on it. Seems to be more of kind of a personal log for whomever works in this office. Because this, you know, looks more of kind of like an administrative place than you know, like a break room. And let's see, I'm trying to find where the note I wrote is. I wrote a bunch of notes like in the last half hour, and so I know what they are, but I don't remember where they are. Okay. Okay, so the journal itself is waterlogged, and it's kind of hard to read. But eventually you make out the journal is... it looks to be the overseer, the mine overseer's journal, and he's talking about, you know, disputes and, like, hours and people being petty and shitty and, you know, stuff like that. But one passage that does stick out to you is a short, like, blurb about Walton, a miner called Walton, potentially skimming gems and crystals off of the shipments. Though we can't figure out where they're going and how Walton's getting them out, you know, without him noticing.
Huh. Interesting. Now, were the gemstones that they had been mining all this time the very same one that Vivi wants? Or...
You don't know. It doesn't say.
And...
Though Vivi did say that Zagnoth exports gems and crystals.
Okay, interesting. Now, was he skimming off particular types of crystal, or just
it
all
doesn't say.
crystals
It
in
seems
general?
more like a note to himself, if anything.
Walton. I'll have to remember that name. All right. And are the elementals just proceeding through the next door?
Yep. So the elemental you came with kind of goes through the door and disappears into the back room.
All right. Well, I will follow it.
Okay. So you enter into a room. And you can see... I'm just going to reveal that. So what it does is... I guess you can see here.
And I'll be sure to stand away from the door, just so that they don't bumble into me again.
Okay. So...
Oh gosh, is that a mind flare?
I don't know. Anyway, so what you see... You're focused on the thrall, so let's finish that.
Okay.
You don't quite notice the thing yet. I mean, if roll a perception check, it's kind of hard to see around the barrel and the creatures.
Okay. Perception.
Though we'll get to that elephant in the room. Yeah, that's enough. So what you see is the guy kind of wring himself out over this barrel, which seems to be filled with like little crystal bits and gemstones and whatever, and then, you know, brushes right back past you and then goes back out.
Huh. So it's really just a large barrel.
Yeah, it's a big old barrel filled with bits. I'll reveal the whole room. If you hadn't moved, you wouldn't have seen him. But so there is a... it's not exact... Well, do you even know what a Mind Flayer looks like? Your character probably wouldn't, actually. So there's a squid man sitting in a chair looking bored. And he's kind of like leaning back and he's got his boots up on the table.
Huh. I mean, I would...
And two other thralls just seem to be kind of hanging out with him. For whatever reason.
Interesting. I can't cast anything lest he notice me. But it is rather interesting that he's here. Huh. And I've never seen this manner of creature before, I don't believe.
You can roll a check. You may know about this
Would it
thing.
be history or investigation?
Just roll, I'll throw it under Jack of all trades, wisdom.
Wisdom?
Yeah. Isn't knowledge wisdom, or is that intelligence? I don't know. It's a knowledge skill that you don't quite have, but you have picked up random monster lore.
Well, the only ones listed here are like knowledge nature and knowledge arcana and
yeah,
history.
technically it would be knowledge dungeoneering.
They don't have dungeoneering.
Well, yeah, but knowledge dungeoneering, I don't even know if that's a thing in 5e.
No.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. So just kind of roll a d20 and we'll figure it out.
Oops. Okay. A die 20. No bonuses, though. Or I get a 1 bonus. Right?
You get a 3 bonus.
3?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you actually recognize it vaguely. Maybe a little bit closer to home than you remember. It's a I don't actually have a name for them, but they're a type of, well, I guess you would kind of know these guys. So you had told me kind of before this campaign had started that there was kind of the opposed faction to the Tritons that were like the Abyss or whatever, right?
Oh, well, you see, Tritons originally derived from the plane of water. Except they decided to colonize the material plane after things got pretty dicey over there. I mean, there were just larger and larger and larger creatures that were just starting to eat up each other. And it was rather vicious. And, we just wanted to take our civilization elsewhere. Unfortunately, they decided to try following us. And we don't want them to consume all of the material plane, too. I mean...
Okay. So this is one of those guys. Though he looks kind of shitty and weak, comparatively.
But he's also humanoid.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got legs and arms. He's kind of wearing kind of fancy clothing. Kind of comfortable stuff. You'd see something that, like a wealthy businessman, maybe, wearing it.
Interesting. But do I know that these are evil?
They're generally assholes, yes.
Okay. And he likely will not like the fact that I am trying to find a mega crystal.
No.
Especially because he has this huge barrel of crystals. Now, Vivi would not want a huge barrel of tiny, tiny crystals. She would want a massive crystal, right?
Yeah, she was very explicit about one very big crystal.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's this door over there?
You're gonna have to indicate top one or bottom one. That one?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Can I... Oh, the problem is if... Wait. I'll have to wait for one of them to go through the door.
Okay.
Because otherwise he'd see me. Or he'd notice that a door was opening on its own
roll a
accord.
stealth check, seeing as you're sneaking around a room that you're in with him.
Okay, I got my expertise in stealth, please.
Okay, yeah, that's good enough. He does not notice you.
Okay, good. And are any of them going to go through that door?
Nope. As you sit around and wait, another thrall comes in, rings himself out over the barrel, goes. Another one does the same. Goes back out. It's kind of a slow procession here.
Okay. This is not good. I'm going to wait for another one to enter and depart, and I will follow it as it leaves.
Okay. So, comes and goes. Roll another stealth check because it's kind of a squeeze.
Okay. Please.
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Woo-hoo.
Okay, so do you go all the way back out?
Yes.
Roll another roll a perception check as you go by the way.
Okay, perception?
Yep.
Nah.
Okay. So are you going all the way out or not? Because
yes,
with that roll, you have free reign of the room for at least a little while. Okay. So you leave the room. Here, I'm going to move the slime, the dude. He's in the room or whatever. Okay, so you move over a bit, and actually, the room you were asking about the door you were asking about actually just leads out into kind of like a little courtyard. There's a bunch of pillars holding it up. Honestly, I'm just going to start revealing things with squares.
Huh. Okay. Anything in this crate?
Okay, you pop the crate open and roll a search check.
Would it be investigation?
Yeah,
okay.
Investigation. Sorry. I'm just going to reveal more so you have more to go on.
And the chest?
Okay, would you roll? Investigation. Okay, so you find a handful of gemstones. They look fairly valuable, honestly.
Okay. I'll pocket them.
Okay. We'll figure out how many you get towards the end. I'll calculate how much money you get by the end of the session. How about?
Okay, and I'll write down gemstones.
Okay. It reminded me about that. I just don't feel like doing money math right now.
Okay, well, I will go through the pillars and maybe see... Oh, is this the dead end?
Okay, so it's sort of a dead end. The lighter gray stuff on the ground is like spent rocks and stuff like that.
Huh.
Rocks and mud. And just kind of looks like mining detritus. You can get through it, but it's not easy to climb. But the black line here is like a wall, but it doesn't go all the way up to the ceiling.
Huh. Interesting. But what would be on the other side? I mean, I could try climbing it, but it looks like it doesn't go anywhere. But I wouldn't know that because I'm just seeing a wall, right?
You're swimming, Shell.
Oh, I can swim over it. I forget that we're underwater because everything is not blue.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll do that next time. I was just like, if I just say everything's underwater, maybe it'll... That's okay. Anyway, so yeah, you just swim over and you're on the other side of the area. Here, I'll just start revealing swaths.
Yeah, because... Ooh, so this is where the other door went.
Yep, this is where the other door leads. So you're on the other side of the Overseer's office.
Ooh, okay. I want to go down this passage.
Okay, so just drag yourself all the way down.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Okay.
All right, and it's just boxes?
There's boxes, there's detritus, and so on and so forth.
Okay, well, I'll open up the box.
Okay, so the box has it's junk. It looks like mostly cast off garbage and spent mining tools and whatnot. Same with both.
And this is truly a dead end.
Mostly?
I can actually go over here?
Well, any that's like light gray.
Oh, okay, because then that means the dark gray is just a solid wall, right?
Yeah, so the darker gray.
What's this?
That's a rock. Like, it's a separate rock. It stands out a little bit. It looks like it's loose.
Ooh. I'm going to use a spell, actually. One that I've recently acquired. And it is called Shatter.
Okay, so I can't draw it, but the rock explodes.
Ooh. Unfortunately, it will emit a loud sound.
Yeah. So the rock shatters, and you sneak behind the... Roll another stealth check. Your invisibility drops, by the way.
Right. I know that.
Okay, so the rock shatters, and actually roll a... Okay, so you got that handled. Roll a athletics check.
Okay, athletics.
Okay, so you managed to get here, and as the rock breaks...
Yeah.
Water just starts rushing past you. You can see on the other side of where the rock was, the drainage tunnel has been cleared. So you've actually managed to clear the way for all the water, and it's it's just slowly draining down. But you get kind of sucked along, but you manage to like grab a hold of the big
the
heavy
box.
crate and just hold on for dear life until, the current isn't nearly as strong. However, what happens immediately after
Oh, is it gonna start sucking all the elementals?
is the elementals, the dude and his thralls kind of come running out to see what's going on, and he's just like, what the, who did this? Crap. And he's like just gonna start pacing around, but since you got such a high stealth check, yeah, no, he does not see you. Just kind of skulking in the corner.
Okay.
But he's kind of inspecting it and muttering to himself.
And how is this affecting the water elementals? They're just...
They're not getting sucked away. The current is not. They were in the room, so they didn't get really hit by the current. Honestly, you were in the danger zone for getting sucked away. But the elementals. Earlier, they were hard to see. Now you just kind of see them as these like squat, fat. I mean, they look like starfishes actually, with like shark faces. They don't have clothes. And they've got, like, bits of mud and rock and whatever trapped in them. And they're, they're about as tall as Skitter is, but, like, 1,000 times uglier.
Okay. Interesting. So he's just going to stand there. Well, I assume if that's the drainage tunnel, then I need to find a way to get back without them noticing. I'm going to... create a, let's see. I'm gonna create a silent image.
Okay.
And this silent image...
Here, I'm gonna give you a Greg icon.
Really?
This will be your silent image. It doesn't have to be Greg. Okay, you have control of it.
Alright,
Show and tell me what it does.
well, I'm going to make it... Ooh, what would be a good aquatic species that's also opposed to them? That would be interesting. Because, I mean, there are the good old merfolk. I don't want to make it a Triton. That would be self-incriminating. I will... It can be something up to like 15 feet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 15 foot.
So that would be
cube or
three.
something.
That'd be 3 squares. Can you resize them, by the way? See if you can resize the fake Greg. Just out of curiosity.
Really? Can I resize it? How would I do that?
If you click on it, there might be
I don't.
a bunch of boxes.
Maybe there's that's a rotation.
No, you can't. Okay. So tell me what you're making, and I'll resize and move accordingly if need to be.
I try to think back to the tales that my mother and father used to tell me about the serpents. Oh yeah, sea serpents are awesome. And I will have a sea serpent, and it will come out, and it will, menacingly bare its teeth at them and then slither away.
So it's a 15-foot long sea serpent?
I mean, as large as I can make it, sure.
Did the tales ever tell how the sea serpents dealt with land?
Wait, is this all dry now?
The water is about down to your knees, yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't have made that then.
Okay.
If I had known that it was down to my knees.
Okay, so what happens is, while you're lost in the tales of yore, you make a sea serpent and just kind of like squidgles out. And it's like, blah,
Hey!
blah,
Hey!
blah. Roll it. Well, I guess he probably has to. He doesn't believe it.
Oh. I didn't know the water was down now.
Okay. I said it was draining.
It was draining, but you said it was a slow trickle, not
At this point, yeah. After the vast majority of the water went going.
all of the water in the entire cavern really left.
Yeah. It took longer. Like, it took a while. You
What
could
a
not
waste
move.
of a spell.
Well, now they're looking for you.
But that's not what I intended.
Okay, so what do? I'll get rid of the Greg.
Okay. I'm stuck in a corner. There's no way out of this except to either talk my way out or to fight. So, I suppose I will expose myself first. Or actually, maybe...
You can't get over the box. You are crammed into that corner.
I'm crammed into this corner. All right. That, or I have the element of surprise. I mean, these guys...
Nope, they found you. Roll for initiative.
Okay, fine. I took too long to think, didn't I? Initiative.
Okay, so you still managed to go first, but this guy is like kind of in front of you being like, "Meh, meh."
Okay. Well, I'm gonna Gust of Wind the sucker.
Okay.
And that is a 10-foot by... Oh, let me see. 60 feet, Gust of Wind, and it's going to be going in, like, this direction.
Use draw. I can't see anything. Oh, okay, so you're going to try and...
I'm going to try to blow these guys at least out of the way.
Okay, I got to I got to see what Gust of Wind does.
They have to make a strength save.
Okay.
And if they fail it, they get moved 15 feet.
Okay. Gust of Wind. Okay, a line of strong wind, 60 feet, 10 long. Okay, strength savings throw would be pushed back 15 feet away. Any creature in the line must spend 2 feet of movement for every one. Okay.
So they'll have a hard time getting back,
Yeah.
is what I'm saying.
Okay, so let's do strength check 1. And what's the DC?
The DC?
Yeah.
You mean like what they have to get in order
Yeah, what do they have to get?
Let me look that up. I didn't actually have that written down.
Because you should know what the regular savings throw is against your spells as a spellcaster, because that will save us a lot of time.
It only gives me like the cast time, action, 2 feet, duration, self. It's a second level evocation. I don't see any indication.
So it's a
of that
calculation that you use for all of your things.
Also, this uses my charisma.
Yeah, but I don't know what the DC is, because I don't know how it handles in 5e. Anybody in chat know exactly? Because
Tiny or small creatures can get knocked down, apparently in the older version.
Okay, spell save DC is 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your spellcasting ability modifier. Can you write that down so you can remember that?
Okay, so that's my...
Did your proficiency go up when you leveled up, by the way?
No, it didn't.
Okay. So it would be DC 13?
That sounds about right.
What's your charisma?
My charisma currently is at 17, so that means it's a modifier of 3.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you, James, for the formula, because that is one part of 5e that I don't know. I was never good at spellcasting and DCs to begin with. Okay, so both of them, I'm gonna have to.
It's interesting because this older version of Gust of Wind also does damage. Oh, no. Actually, no, they don't do damage.
Okay, so this guy goes back and kind of like hits like the outcrop, and then the other guy just goes gets flung into the muck. Okay.
All right.
So then that was your turn. The guy nearest you is going to take a swing at you with his flipper, and he misses. And then the other one is wait, hold on. Where does it start? Does the Gust of Wind start here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm having it go in this direction.
Okay, so the other one that you, I guess, couldn't see kind of squeaks by and like kind of squelches him into this corner, and he's going to flipper you too. They suck.
Okay. And is there any way I can like shove my way past these guys, or do I have to plow through them? Wait, How is he able to move that far?
He can only move 30 feet. Well, he moves 30 feet normally, but he can only move 15 feet this way.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you are trapped in a corner with two angry starfish men trying to hit you. Trying to flipper you? I don't know. What's your armor class, by the way, just so I can...
Armor class?
Yeah. I guess I can pull up your character
Isn't
sheet?
it like an 8?
No.
Or something?
It's not 8. It can't be 8.
What is that?
Okay, your armor class is 12.
12?
What? No. Oh, it's 14.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to fix that for you. If I can. Actually, it does not look like I can edit any of your armor class.
I mean,
maybe.
I can edit it, maybe?
Oh.
No, actually.
Yeah, AC, worn armor. Set it to 14, not 4.
Oh, okay. I can't change that.
Oh, I see. Base AC. I'm very confused as to how this does the... Well, we're just going to do that. There we go. These character sheets are bizarre. Anyway, so you've got an armor class of 14. Good. Okay. So, yeah, it's your turn.
All right. Let's see. What do I have at my disposal? Let's see. I think I'm going to slash them both with my new water rapier.
Okay.
Why don't I try it out? Does
Okay.
it actually go in an arc, or how does it
You
work?
can try and do an arc.
Well, I mean, she said it was supposed to be like a whip, so I want to see if I can do an arc in front of me.
Okay.
Okay, weapons, and there we go. Attack.
Okay. So when doing sweeping attacks with a whip, you can do... I'm going to show it to you.
Okay.
You can hit everything in these three, like kind of in a frontal cone, so I guess the 6 tiles in front of you, or like kind of a further line, but you only do a die 4 damage.
Only a die 4?
Yeah, so roll a die 4 instead.
Oh, okay. Do I still have the +1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and +3, 6 damage. Okay, so what kind of happens is the whip kind of passes through both of them, and it kind of seals up afterwards, but, water spills out onto the ground and stuff like that, and they look a little bit smaller for it.
Huh.
And then they're going to try and flipper you a bunch. Oh.
One of them hits.
Okay, you take 6 damage. And then the last one kind of just queues up behind.
Ouch. How am I supposed to get out of here? I'm gonna cast Fairy Fire on them.
Okay.
And I really can't get out. I can't clamber over anything.
You could make an acrobatics check. They're short and they're not that big of a deal, but you're going to provoke attacks of opportunity trying to escape.
Yeah, well, I suppose I'll Fairy Fire them.
Okay. And they're going to hit you twice more. Okay, so you take another 7 damage.
This is not good.
Remember, you can drink a healing potion as a move action.
That's what I'm going to be doing my next turn.
Okay.
Actually. So I drink a healing potion?
Yes.
How much is that for?
2d4 plus 2.
Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so you're just down 6.
Okay. But then they're going to wail on me again.
No. You drinking a potion's move action.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can chug and do something else.
Oh, I forgot all about the gloop.
Okay.
But I don't know what that will do to them. Because, I mean, these guys are made out of water as well, right?
Yeah.
Is it just going to float around in them? Or is it going to potentially seal them up? Huh. I will chuck a bunch of goop at them.
Okay.
As
Roll
like,
the hit.
As like a spray.
Okay, so you're just going to upend the bag. Okay. So I guess instead of rolling to hit, they're going to try and dodge it. Nope. Alright, so you upend the entire contents of your bag, emptying it completely, in
really?
a spray in front of you.
Okay.
And the bits of goop hit the little water starfish sharkmen, and they just go rigid. They're not moving. They kind of like clatter backwards, and it looks like I guess you didn't play Prey, but yeah, they look like dried out starfishes. You know, the ones that have been out of water for a while.
Meanwhile, did the pink guy just die? What's up with him?
You can't see him.
Okay. Well, I will push past the now immobile guys and teeter them over or something.
Okay. They kind of fall over awkwardly.
Okay.
So there's a pile of frozen fishmen or starfish men just there.
Okay, and I will flee.
Okay. So as you flee, there's a sea serpent kind of stuck in the tunnel, kind of wiggling unconvincingly.
Yeah, I know precisely who you are.
As you pass through it, it just kind of dissipates. It tried.
All right, I'm getting out of there. Time to explore the rest of this place. And are the other creatures still doing their back and forth, or are they gone?
Okay, so you go back into the office, and moments later, a guy comes in, rings himself out over the barrel, notices you, and moves into attack. Roll initiative.
Okay.
Okay, it goes first, and it smacks you one. You take 4 damage.
Okay. Let's see. I will use Dissonant Whispers.
Okay.
The target must make a wisdom savings throw, and on a failed save, it takes 3d6 damage.
Okay. It succeeded.
It succeeds?
Yes.
No.
These things are rolling so unbelievably high.
I've noticed.
So it just saves? All right.
Well, let me see. The creature doesn't... It takes half as much damage.
Okay, so roll your 3d6.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta remember stuff like that.
Yep.
Okay, it takes 9 damage. And it dies.
But it takes half the 9 damage.
Oh, never mind.
Because it succeeded.
Doesn't die.
It succeeded the save.
I was assuming the 9 was the half, but...
So you can choose either 4 or 5 as what it gets hit with.
Yep. Okay, so it takes 5 damage. Okay. And it's gonna flipper you again, but misses this time.
Okay, and this time I'm just going to use my rapier as it should be used, which is just a straight, swift strike.
It flippers you again. Jesus Christ. You're going to die to starfishes.
This... Okay, I'm going to have to chug the second potion.
Okay.
This is terrible. 2 die... What was it?
2d4 plus 2.
4 plus 2.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's still your turn.
Oh, well, I will stab it again. Come on. Don't mess up this time.
Okay. You manage to skewer the thing, and it kind of splats all over the floor.
Finally. Can I lock the door?
Sure.
I'm going to lock the door.
Okay. A little while later, there's a thud.
I'm also going to lock the other door while I'm at it.
Okay.
And I'm going to look at this desk.
Okay. So the desk has, honestly, not too much important on it. It's some papers. Looks to be more like ledgery things. Another note about the dude. Freaking...
Walton?
Yeah, Walton. Talking about, maybe... It has the word, bunkhouse circled a bunch of times and then a question mark.
A bunkhouse? I wonder if there is one down here for the miners.
Okay. And as you're reading the note, there's another kind of wet thud.
I hope that door holds.
It seems to be holding.
Okay. And, okay, then I'm going to leave.
How much HP do you have, by the way?
I have 13.
Okay.
I mean, do you think I could take a short rest here? I'm just worried about these things coming in.
Realistically, not advisable.
Right. I'm gonna sneak out.
Okay, roll stealth.
Okay, skill stealth, please.
Okay, so yeah, you're sneaking.
Okay.
The way stealth works is people have to roll an opposed stealth check against you. Okay.
How many of them are out here?
So there's only 2 left that are going to and from.
Okay, I'm gonna wait for them to go inside.
Okay. Oops, that's the wrong one. This one notices you.
What?
And kind of swerves.
But I was hiding.
It rolled a natural 20.
Oh, I see
These things
that.
are rolling so unbelievably high that it's honestly kind of unfair.
Yeah, they
don't get bonuses. They literally don't have a plus on anything. They're just rolling so high it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay. So I guess roll initiative.
Okay, that I will. Initiative.
Okay, you go first.
All right, I will stab it with my rapier.
Okay, good luck.
Why?
I don't know. Things have just not been kind to us.
Please.
Holy crap.
Woohoo!
So
that's like a crit.
You stab it, and it's like your sword just kind of ate the thing. It just goes.
Yes. Awesome.
Jesus Christ. That's like
a perfect roll.
Actually, oh god damn it! Your crit roll is you never changed your crit dice here. I'm gonna go fix that for you.
Oh, the crit dice, but I changed the damage,
no,
extra damage.
You didn't.
What?
Yeah, crit damage 8. I think you changed your regular die. You never changed your crit
the regular die. Oops.
Yeah.
Did I still obliterate it though?
Oh yeah. Yeah, even without the crit damage, you destroyed the thing. Okay.
Okay.
And that was fast, because holy shit, the other one comes by, turns and looks at you. I'm just going to roll its own initiative. Okay, you go first again. You're still in combat, more or less. This thing just shows up.
Okay, I'll stab it again. Yes.
All right. The hallway is now, or the main chamber is now devoid.
Can I barricade it from
of
this
starfish
side too?
men? Sure. How are you going to barricade it?
Are there any large rocks or a medium-sized box that I can put in front of there?
Yeah, sure.
Do I have the strength for it?
The smaller crate over to the right, you could kind of. You have to tip out a bunch of this stuff from it, and you notice a bunch of gemstones go spilling out.
Ooh, gemstones.
But then you can drag the crate around.
Okay, I'm gonna put the crate in front of that door.
Okay.
That way, the 2 remaining ones won't be able to come get me.
Yep, you hear kind of faintly from the inside, and the box is in the way. Can you move your character, I assume?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna.
You're gonna put a box there.
This ain't here. Okay. So you are free to go about your
That means
activities.
pretty much all the ways are locked. So hopefully Squidface isn't going to be able to find me. I'm going to take some of those gemstones while I'm at it.
Okay, you find more gemstones.
Woohoo. Okay. And maybe I'll use this as an opportunity to heal up. Either eat more of my good rations, or I might have even another potion. Yeah, I did have 2 extra healing potions on top of the ones that Vivi had given me, which I had used in battle.
Okay. Let me make sure I haven't shorted you on any of the things. Nope, I haven't shorted you on anything.
Okay. Bling.
Okay, is that your...
That's my healing potion roll.
Okay. So you're up to 22 HP?
Yeah.
Okay.
22 is the max.
Okay. So you're feeling a lot better now, and the world is maybe a little bit less harsh and cruel.
All right. And as far as I know, all my enemies are put aside. Oh, wait, what? Not more of them. Come on.
So it sees you from across the way. Roll initiative.
What?
So for the audio listeners, there's still
But I
a
thought
couple
you said
of
there were only 2 left.
not in the main room, but there were some in
the.
the tentacle room just hanging out.
But I was gonna stay hidden until all of them went into the room.
So, as Shell was starting to think about sneaking, one of them came out of the room because comedic timing and rolled another natural 20 to spot her.
But I was gonna wait for all of them to pile into the room before I put the box in. You said there were only 2 left, which is why I put the box.
Well, they have to wait for the crystals to collect.
But how many? Wait, so you mean they're perpetually spawning?
No, remember they were in the tentacle room. There are the starfish men sitting there waiting and collecting crystals.
But there were only 2.
So
there's 2 more.
Yeah.
Aw, great. Well, ring her on the rosy.
Okay. So it's gonna kind of like splash into the water, and it moves faster than the water.
Okay.
What do you do for your next turn?
Well, I'm gonna stab
It's like
it in the face.
Okay. You miss.
Aww.
So it's gonna kind of like leap out of the water like an epic shark thing, sort of splat on the ground, and whoops. Crap. There we go. It misses you by a mile.
All right. Now I'm gonna stab it again.
Okay. It takes the hit. It's looking pretty bad. It flippers you.
Okay, for how much?
I don't know. Gotta get back to my old rolls. There we go. 6 damage.
Okay.
These guys roll
1, 2,
so
3, 4,
high.
5, 6. Yeah. Huh. Okay. And I will stab it again.
Alright, you destroy it.
Woohoo! And I will make my way towards the room over here. Can I enter?
Yep. The door is not locked.
All right. I squeak it open ever so slightly.
Okay, so in the room, you see... Give me a second. Gotta spawn the mobs. Okay. There are 2 drowned ones. Mudmen, whatever. However, not pictured here, are their faces completely, like, smashed in. They look like they may have gotten flippered. There's, like, water all over the floor and stuff like that.
So, are they dead, or are they
very,
still...
very not moving.
Okay. So, they're just there. They're not
Yep.
gonna vivify.
Yep.
All right. And anything in the room? Any
Okay.
notes or anything on the table? Or is it just empty? Because I could almost see this as a dining area, and maybe the bunks are further on.
Yep. It looks more or less like that.
Oh, you're already making the next room?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, do you open the door?
Uh,
Or are you
well,
rolling to
actually,
investigate? What are you doing?
could I, like, detect... I don't want to waste detect magic on that. I'll be a little bit sneakier.
Okay.
I will go off to the side, and I will mage hand the door open.
Okay, so it kind of creaks open. It's kind of stuck, but your mage hand gets it open eventually.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a waterlogged door. And there's just a hallway beyond. You can see, like, doors lining the hall.
I will have the mage hand thump about the room a little bit.
Okay. Roll a perception check.
Okay.
So you're just sending the mage hand into the hallway, just banging on whatever you can bang it
Yeah,
on.
because I don't know what's in
Okay.
there.
You hear, a short while later, banging back. It's kind of faint, though.
Okay, like, not the mage hand. It's like something else.
Yeah, the mage hand has kind of like a light, like, wet... Well, not wet. Well, I guess wet. These doors were underwater recently. but it kind of has like more of like a if you hit the door with a pillow, because it's kind of this like weak thing. Whatever the response is definitely a little bit more thuddy.
Okay. Interesting. I will take a peek and see what my mage hand is distracting.
Okay, so you see... Can you even see the mage hand? I have no idea. Your mage hand is just kind of bouncing about randomly
It's
in the
supposed to be
hallway.
sort of spectral, isn't it?
Yeah, okay, so you have...
A spectral mage
You
hand.
have just kind of like your spectral feminine hand just kind of like whomping on different doors and stuff. And you hear kind of the thudding again.
All right. I really can't see the rest of the room. I have to actually
it's
enter.
just doors. So whatever it is,
they're
it's...
doors?
Yeah, these are doors.
Ah.
Congrats, you found the bunkhouse.
Okay. I will... But what door has the thumping coming back?
Okay. So as you go, it's this door.
Okay. I will go into the other doors then, just to have a
Okay.
look.
So you open up this door, and it's a completely empty room. It's a bedroom. It looks quite soggy. It's not actually nearly as clean as I've laid it out to be. The bed's in disarray. The sheets look like they've been nibbled on by fish, maybe. You're not entirely sure.
And there's
Probably
like
not.
nothing in the
Nah,
bedside
just
table. Or
maybe
anything?
like 5 gold. This was a minor. There's
Okay.
like boots mostly.
And what about this
Gloves. This one has dead dude in the bed.
room? Is he like really dead, or is he?
He's
still
not
alive
moving
dead?
like the other ones.
Okay. And is there anything interesting in the room?
It's kind of the same thing. These guys are pretty damn poor. I mean, if you want to look, you have to roll investigation checks. I can't...
Okay, fine. I will investigate.
Yeah, if you're searching an area, please roll the roll, because I don't want to, like, prompt you every single time, because
Okay.
I don't want to show my hand too much. Anyway, there's nothing in the room either. You find maybe, like, a handful of silver and more boots.
Okay, I don't have no need for boots, and I'll look through the other doors.
Okay. Specifically?
The one on the right.
Okay. Empty.
Also completely
Yeah.
empty? Nah. And I'll look through the other one.
Okay, this one has, I'd say live and wriggling, but there's a dude, and he kind of comes like stumbling towards you, and you have distinct flashbacks to Barrel Man.
Barrel Man?
Yeah, remember
Oh,
first session?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
looks very similar.
I
Might
was-
actually be a cousin or something.
Can I stab him
Okay,
in the
you
face?
stab the shit out of him, and he just,
Did I even need to roll initiative for that?
if you waited too long, yeah.
Okay. Anything in this room?
Nope, just bits of person.
Ew. Okay. I will go to the room across the one from the banging one.
Okay, so
Yeah, this one.
you can draw, please. Okay, that one. Okay.
Yeah, this one.
Okay,
I know this
empty.
one. Also empty.
Yep.
Okay. How about these last two?
Which one?
I'll try this one first.
Okay, so you go into this one, and it's got a dude kind of slumped over his like dresser, and non-moving.
But he's dead.
Yeah, dead.
Okay. Can I investigate this room as well?
Okay. You have found there's pretty much nothing of any import. You do find the gambling winnings.
Uh-huh.
It's like 30 gold.
Okay. Should I write all this down? Like 5 gold?
If you
30
wanna.
gold?
You can not, and it's effectively lost to the ages, or you could write it down and you have 33 gold.
Okay, good.
And so, Shell continues her journey. Will she get to the bottom of the mysterious mines with the weird starfish water elementals, the even weirder squid people? And will she manage to fulfill Vivi's request and locate the crystal and send it back so the Lich can actually do some good for once? Or will she be slapped into oblivion? Find out next time on Dungeons & Dragons: Grave of Man.